Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike York, and I'm going to provide you with an update on the severe weather situation for this afternoon and this evening. We did provide an EM conference call yesterday, and this is just an update of yesterday's call. There has been some change, so I'll cover that in detail for you. Overall, in summary, we're continuing to expect a damaging thunderstorm or tornado threat, mainly during the afternoon and evening hours from approximately 3 to 9 p.m. Not a very long window in any one place in our area, but certainly the potential exists for some very active weather. And then after the cold front comes through and the thunderstorms end, there'll be some gusty winds tonight. The danger from that, not nearly as high as the danger from the storms, but it's worth mentioning, and that will be mainly overnight from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Our confidence level is above average. It's a pretty well forecast storm, and model agreement is good. Okay, here's the broad brush picture covering the whole United States. And you can see that the severe weather potential is clearly the highest in the southeastern states. There is a rare high risk of severe weather, along with the potential for some very devastating tornadoes, primarily Alabama, Mississippi, and southern Tennessee. The risk decreases, as you can see, as you move northward. However, our area is in a fairly high risk. We have an enhanced to moderate risk across much of our area, and I'll zoom in here to give you a better look. This is the latest outlook thinking, and the red area that covers the Hopkinsville, Murray area in western Kentucky, that is the second highest level. That's a moderate risk of severe weather, including tornadoes. The enhanced risk area covers all of western Kentucky and up into the Evansville area and southeast Illinois. And the risk decreases as you head northwestward. And the reason for that being the low pressure center is going to track across that area, going to track across southeast Missouri into southern Illinois. So the warm humid air stays on the east side of the low track. So western Kentucky and southwest Indiana stand the best chance of being in that warmer and more humid air, which is headed our way. It's not here yet. That's why we don't have the severe weather yet. Let's look at the tornado probabilities. Overall, again, the risk is highest in the southeastern states. These are probabilities of tornadoes within 25 miles of a point. So there's a 30% probability of a tornado within 25 miles of Birmingham, Alabama. And that makes sense. There are tornado warnings already in effect in the Birmingham area. The risk is lower as you head north, but the hatched area where you see those small black dashes, that means there's a possibility of EF2 or stronger tornadoes in that area. So the probabilities do decrease as you head north, but the potential is still there for some significant tornado activity in the enhanced risk and the moderate risk area. And isolated weaker tornadoes could occur as far northwest as almost to St. Louis. So tornadoes are a threat across the area. Looking at the wind damage probabilities, they're centered a little closer to us. The hatched area, the black dashed lines, represent an area where wind gusts to 75 miles per hour or stronger are possible. Again, that is centered mainly over Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, but it does extend further north than the tornado threat does. So we do have to be concerned with wind damage for sure. Now, a lot of people are concerned about the timing. We have schools, of course, letting out in the afternoon. And this graphic was released earlier today, and the timing really has not changed a whole lot. It still appears that the peak timing of peak intensity will be in the 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. range across the whole area. That's not to say we won't have any severe weather at all before 4 or after 8, but the primary window of occurrence appears to be during these times. Dark blue area in southeast Missouri and the Mississippi River counties is an area where we think the peak likelihood of severe weather will be between 4 and 6 p.m. Heading east from there across most of southern Illinois, southwest Indiana, and western Kentucky a little bit later, 6 to 8 p.m. However, parts of the Lakes region of West Kentucky from about Murray over to Hopkinsville, there's a wider window there because the warmer and humid air is going to have a longer residence time there. So there'll be a longer window for severe weather potential there. So any time between 4 and 8 approximately across that area appears to be the best window for any kind of severe storms. Now, look a little bit at the heavy rain potential. The ground is moist. We've had quite a bit of rain lately, but this system will be fairly quick moving, and therefore rainfall amounts don't look to be as high as they were in the last event a few days ago. Generally 1 to 1.5 across the western Kentucky area, and probably not even that in much of southern Illinois. So some local ponding is certainly possible, especially with the heaviest storms, but we don't think looking at any widespread flooding issues with this storm. And I mentioned earlier about the strong winds tonight. This graphic is designed to show you where the potential for 40 mile per hour or stronger wind gusts is expected, not associated with thunderstorms. This is for tonight after the storms are gone, after the cold front has moved through. And the potential from this event is obviously a lot lower than with the thunderstorms. Peak wind gusts in the 40 to 45 mile an hour range. Not going to have a big effect on anybody, but just be aware that there will be some gusty winds overnight. The wind advisory that covers areas from Carbondale to Hopkinsville northeastward, that's where we think the potential for wind gusts of 40 miles per hour or greater is highest, and that's why there's a wind advisory there. To the west, from Paducah westward, the potential for 40 mile an hour gusts is lower, so there is not a wind advisory there, but it's going to be windy there as well. Here's an estimate of wind gusts that we're expecting around mid-evening. At 9 o'clock tonight, winds will probably be gusting in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range at that time. However, peak wind gusts for the whole night will be higher than this, probably in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range in the wind advisory area and a little less to the west. So just be aware that winds will be gusty through the night. If you need to be out doing any damage surveys or recovery efforts, it's going to be rather windy overnight tonight, along with falling temperatures, probably down into the 40s by morning. And I just want to mention this. I know that we're all concerned about today, but just put in the back of your mind, we have another potential severe weather episode on Saturday. The graphic on the left is for Friday. We have nothing going on Friday, but Saturday, the yellow area represents a slight risk of severe thunderstorms, and that will cover pretty much our entire area. It will be very warm, probably one of the warmest days so far this spring, up near 80, probably in the southern parts of Kentucky. And that combined with some humidity, that's why we're concerned about severe weather on Saturday. However, the system overall won't be as strong as today's, so not looking at a repeat performance of today or tonight, but keep that in the back of your mind as we go into the weekend. Okay, so sum up the next 7 days ahead. It looks like the active weather will be mainly today. That's obviously our biggest concern, is the potential for thunderstorm winds hail, as well as a few tornadoes. Of course, lightning and heavy rain will also accompany the stronger storms. And then Saturday is a lesser potential. There is a medium risk of heavy rain and lightning and a slight risk of severe weather. But we don't want to dwell on that since it's relatively low priority compared to what's expected this afternoon and this evening. So usually a lot of people are very interested in timing, so I'll go back to our timing graphic and open it up to